to the IFF TV podcast.
Irish Football Fan TV, this is the starting 11 show. Serbia take on Republic of Ireland in Serbia tomorrow in Belgrade, and this is the starting 11 I would like to see take on Serbia. We've got a lot of injuries, we've got a lot of positions to fill in here, and a different change of formation is what I would like to see just for this game and maybe the Luxembourg game. Just looking at the personnel in which we have in the squad, I think it suits more to go with a 3-5-2. This is not the formation that this is not the team that Stephen Kenny will go for. It's the team I would like to see. Now, if he goes for it, I'll be delighted, but this is the team I would like to see. So in goals, he's came out and he's already said Mark Travers is going to start in goal. So Mark Travers goes in goal for me. He's played under Mick. He's been in the system. He's been in the group there for the last number of years. So he kind of knows the way things kind of go around, and I'm sure people will be talking to him, Dean Kiley and stuff like that, and just, you know, getting into his head and giving him that confidence that he needs going into the game. The fella's played Premier League football as well, let's not forget. I know it was a while back and he hasn't been playing regular game time, but he has played in the Premier League. I appreciate Gavin Bazunu, who's been playing a lot of football recently, but he's been playing League One. I think maybe give him his debut against Qatar and let Mark Travers play this one. He's came out, like Stephen just spoke on his press conference about how the height of Mark Travers will come into the equation, considering Serbia's aerial threat, and Mark likes to come and take crosses and stuff like that. So look, it makes sense to have him in there. So then I'm going to go with a back three, and my back three consists of Seamus Coleman on that right-sided centre-back position. So that allows for the wing back then to get up and support the attacks, and that means that Seamus will come across and cover, and obviously one of the central midfielders as well can cover that area if there's an overload or if we're under the cosh on that side, and then the wing back can obviously drop in. But I think it makes a lot more sense to do that. Seamus, obviously the captain, I feel like he has to play this game. He's played as that right side centre back for Everton numerous times to help Everton shore up games and win games. So I think it makes a lot of sense to put him in there. Then beside him, I'm going to go Shane Duffy. He's never let Ireland down. I know he's not been in the best of form, had the best year, but if you look at him for Ireland and you look at the way that Serbia play, a lot of crosses into the box, a lot of aerial ability, we're going to need Shane Duffy because he absolutely is unbelievable in the air when he's on top form, and we're hoping that he's going to be on top form because he gives it all for Ireland, and we know that. So I have a Shane Duffy in there alongside Seamus Coleman. They've played together at Everton, they've played together at Ireland, they know each other's game, and there's that continuity in which that we need there at centre back. Then my other centre back, who Shane Duffy would know really well from playing with him over the years, is Kieran Clark. Again, Darragh O'Shea's probably really unlucky to miss out on this occasion. I just think that Clark, again, he has that continuity with Shane Duffy, and I'm just thinking obviously with the keeper, Mark Travers, that we're going to have to need you know, experienced heads at the back there, just talking to him and keeping it calm and relaxed and just being solid. And again, really good in the air. And for set pieces, both Shane Duffy and Kieran Clark will be really good in the opposition's box if we're getting balls into the box and stuff like that. So look, I think that back three, I think it makes sense. Again, Darragh O'Shea extremely unlucky not to get into this team. I just think it's maybe come a little bit too soon for him. In saying that, if he is to play, I would not be against it, but this is just the team that I would like to see. Darragh, of course, could come off the bench at any point in the game. Then I'm going to go for two wing backs. I'm going to put Matt Doherty as my wing back. It's his natural position. We've seen how good he is playing that position with Wolves, and he's played in the back four largely this season for Spurs. It hasn't worked out for him. He's coming into this game fit. Stevens pretty much said he'd like to get the two of them into the team. He said, you know, you have to find ways of getting your best players into the team. So I'm hoping that he can find a way by doing this formation to get him into the team this way. I think if we can get Matt Doherty playing that right wing back position, I would love to see how he actually does that for Ireland. And look, I appreciate we don't have the same players as Wolves, but still, I think it would be brilliant to see him playing his natural position. And then Enda Stevens, again, a wing back on the other side. I think he's been in and out through injury this season, but I think he's a really, really good fullback. Wing back even, sorry. And I think for me, a lot of people criticise his performance, but for me, I actually think he's been quite good for Ireland. And I think, we've cried out for a left back for a number of years. It's a shame that he's getting on in age a little bit now, because after Stephen Ward, we're kind of looking around going, who's our next left back? So there is him. I think Ryan Manning's a good option off the bench as well, but I think his opportunity will probably come against Qatar, or if anything happens to India, he'll probably play against Luxembourg. So look, that's my kind of back five. And then in midfield, I'm going to go with Josh Cullen. I think he's had a really good season with Anderlecht. I think he's shown that he can come in and do a job if needs be. When he's played for Ireland in the friendly games, he's done really well. He stood out. He got man of the match in his first game, and I think in other games he's just done really, really well. I remember the New Zealand game, they weren't great. I appreciate that. But I think, look, Vincent Kompany speaks so highly of him. He's made him captain a few times. I think I did a podcast with him there recently. He said he's ready to step up for Ireland if needs be, and he can play the deep positions, or he can play either the 8 or the 6. So in this scenario, I would like him to sit back maybe and be that kind of anchor in front of the defence. And then alongside him, just purely from a defensive point of view, and other midfielders will probably miss out in this case, but I think Jason Malumbi is the most natural person to put in beside Josh Cullen. He brings that energy, he gets around the pitch, and if we do need to kind of carry the ball up the pitch in the game, I think he'll be a good option to have there. So it leaves Cullen to sit there, and it allows Malumbi to kind of get about, but also sit in if needs be. And I appreciate he hasn't played a lot for Preston this season, but Stephen Kenny just said in his press conference there, he's been largely played as a number 10 there. But when he's played in his natural position, we know how good Malumbi's been, and he's been good for Ireland too, over the Nations League and stuff like that. So he shows he can play at international level. So it'll be interesting to see if he goes with Malumbi and Cullen in there, but that's what I would like to see. And just in front of Cullen and Malumbi, I'm going to go for Robbie Brady. And Alan Brown was extremely unlucky to miss out in this scenario, but the only reason I'm going with Robbie Brady in this position is purely down to set pieces. If you're looking around the rest of the team, there's not too many others that take set pieces, and Robbie Brady's set pieces tend to be very good for Ireland. And obviously we carry a big threat in terms of our aerial presence of the players that we have there. So I'm going to go with Robbie Brady there. Again, I probably would have looked at putting Alan Brown in there. If I was going for a 4-3-3, I'd probably have Alan Brown as the 10 and Robbie Brady as the right winger. But such is this formation, you can't accommodate everybody. So that's why I've gone with Robbie Brady there. And then in front of him, I've gone with Aaron Connolly and Callum Robinson as my front two. And the reason I've gone with them is just, they're busy players. They get about the place. They have pace. They can get in behind, and they both scored at Premier League level this season. And I know, look, Robinson hasn't been getting that much of a look in, and Connolly's been in and out through injury and has had some bad press recently. He'll be looking to right those wrongs. So I'm looking at them and I'm thinking they're probably our best options. And then you've got James Collins and you've got Shane Long there as well. But I think Callum Robinson can make the step up for this one. And I think that if you're looking at Aaron Connolly, he offers us something totally different to anybody else. I think he has that pace that scares the opposition. I think, when he gets into those positions more often than not, he's quite good. And I think he's due a goal. So I think I'd go with Aaron Connolly alongside Callum Robinson, who again is due a goal too. The whole team's due a goal, really, isn't it? So let us know your thoughts and let us know your starting 11 in the comments. I want to hear everyone's 11, and I don't want to hear you crying about my team. I want to hear your 11 and why you've gone for it. And let us know your thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to like the video. Don't forget to subscribe. And we'll speak to you all soon.